Hey, this is Andrew Jones. You watch On Deck with Tyler.
Welcome into On Deck. I'm Tyler Redmond. As always, make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell for notifications so that you can be notified every time I drop something new related to Braves baseball. So the Braves took on the Tampa Bay Rays, where there were some problems, but there were things to be happy about too. So we're going to talk about those first. I'll tell you this. This is as locked in as I've ever seen Dansby Swanson. And I can say that with confidence. He picked up another home run last night, as well as Matt Adams, but Dansby Swanson has really taken the offense to a new level. And I think he's shown in the past few days that if he can be a consistent player, he's got the skills. If he can keep that going throughout this season, it could really make an impact to the offense. It could really make an impact to the team. So we'll see how he does throughout this season and how he does throughout the years moving forward. He's always shown to be a developing player. He's gotten better every season. Hopefully that will continue throughout the next few years and throughout the season. But also, big headline for the Braves, big deal. Travis Darno and Tyler Flowers returned to the Braves this week after their battle with hopefully just a bad cold. I wonder, though, how do you leave Contreras out of the loop on this regard? Because, frankly, William Contreras has taken advantage of every opportunity he's been given these past few games, and he's really made something that we all were worried about kind of a minimal problem. Think about it. When you found out Travis Darno and Tyler Flowers were out, I mean, that's your two starting catchers. Now we're trusting a couple prospects to come in and, one, handle the pitching staff and perform at the plate. So they both did exceptionally well considering the circumstances. They didn't find out they were playing until opening day. So with that said, I think he and Alex Jackson deserve some credit. But William Contreras at the plate is something that I am interested in. Him and Langoliers, I think, are the two prospects, other than Ian Anderson and Pache, the guys we hear about all the time, that I'm really excited about coming up these next few years. Hopefully we'll see that soon. A lot of you have said that you want Contreras to go ahead and take that backup catching position from Tyler Flowers. I would say slow down. Not only because we have Tyler Flowers, but because you never want to rush a prospect to the show. You never want a guy to come up too early. That's happened to so many guys, so many Braves over the years that I'm sure you can think of. But catching depth is so important, and it's good to see that we have that in the Braves organization, and we have it this season specifically, because we know as well as anybody, something can happen with coronavirus and your player's out for a week or at least. The Braves have so many prospects to be excited about, and if you're a Braves fan, the future now and the future is what you need to be excited about. The Braves are good now, but they're going to be better in the future. But speaking of right now, I can't wait for Travis Darno's bat to be back in the lineup for the Braves. We saw what he could do in spring training and summer camp, and hopefully that will continue throughout the live games this season. That bat added to the lineup, plus his ability behind the plate, obviously, could be a great addition to the Braves as of right now. But we got to talk about last night, and you can't be mad at the offense last night at all. 5 runs should win a game with quality pitching, and in a typical game, it should at least keep you in the game. As I'm sure you already know, the Braves lost 14-5 last night, and this was mostly due to an 8-run fourth inning by the Braves, and Foltynewicz didn't have the best start. He gave up 6 of those runs. He gave up 2 consecutive walks to the Rays, and then gave up a 3-run homer to Hunter Renfroe, who had 2 homers last night. But then that followed with another homer by Joey Wendle, and the runs kept pouring in after that throughout the game. Braves tried to make a comeback, just wasn't happening. But this isn't anything that we're unfamiliar with when it comes to Foltynewicz, as much as I hate to say it. He's either up or down. He's either on or off. He's a high and a low guy. It's just how he's always been. We've seen greatness out of him. All you got to do to see greatness is go back to the 2018 season, where he was an all-star. Last year, in the latter half of the year, he had exceptional numbers. And if you go back to Game 2 of the NLDS, forget Game 5 for a second, go back to the Game 2 of the NLDS. He had lights-out stuff. So he's got it. He just doesn't have it right now. That fastball that we know from Folty is usually 95 miles an hour. Right now he's struggling to hit 90 miles an hour. So with all of the runs coming in last night, the Braves decided to designate Mike Foltynewicz for assignment. So I know some of you are new to baseball in some regards, so I've decided to look up what designated for assignment means because I've gotten a lot of questions about it. And basically, the Braves now have 7 days to choose from these 4 options. 1, place the player on waivers. 2, trade the player. 3, release the player. And 4, outright the player to the minors. So the Braves now have a limited window to either trade Foltynewicz, put him on waivers, or put him in the minors, or just outright release him. That's basically what's going on. His days as a Brave could likely be numbered. He could go to the minors and make a comeback again. That's happened before with Mike Foltynewicz. And Snickers spoke about it after the game last night. I actually like what he had to say. He said, it's tough. Folty in this short season, it's just not happening right now. We kind of feel a sense of urgency to some extent. Folty's been big for us this past couple of years. He's pitched in big games and in the playoffs. He's been good for us down the stretch. We're just not in a position in this short season to wait for something to happen. Now, I'll be honest. I was genuinely surprised by this move by the Braves. Felt a little bit early to pull the trigger here, but there was obvious concern. He's got a major decline in velocity, and if you lose 5 miles an hour in velocity, your stuff's like batting practice, and we saw that last night. He gave up a total of 6 runs and 4 hits and 4 walks in 3 1/3. So the reason it surprised me was not his performance. The reason it surprised me is because of the lack of starting pitching that the Braves have right now. You got Soroka, you got Fried, and you got Newcomb and Kyle Wright right now, right? You got to go find a 5th starter either within or outside of your organization, at least until Cole Hamill comes back. But he's not coming back until 3/4 of the season is done, and when he does, we don't know what we're going to have with him. So there's a lot of questions, which is why I was surprised Foltynewicz was released. And to be honest with you, I thought the Braves would hold on to the potential of Mike Foltynewicz. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Mike Foltynewicz was an all-star. It was only 2018. That's 1 season ago. It wasn't that long. In 2018, he had an ERA of 2.85 and went 13-10. He had similar numbers in the second half of last season after he recovered from his injuries. So as for me, I will always be a Mike Foltynewicz fan. 1, he's always been very nice to me. He's good to fans. He's good to, he's a good person. Helps out charities around Atlanta. Good human being. Aside from that, he's had great moments with the Braves. I mentioned Game 2 of the NLDS last year. There's a lot of others. But at the same time, the Braves have 60 games to prove that they belong in the postseason and prove what they're worth this year. So Snickers said last night, and I think it's kind of the attitude that a lot of Braves fans have right now, hopefully Folty clears and they don't make a trade and we get him in Gwinnett and we get him back going again. Coming from the manager of this guy, that tells me that 1, Foltynewicz is not somebody who is just not working. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's just not happening. I think it's just not clicking right now. Hopefully that'll change. Even if he's not with the Braves, hopefully that changes. He's a guy that's easy to root for, and that's the way I feel about it. But moving on, the Braves picked Chad Sabatka to fill in the roster spot for Mike on the active roster. But the Braves haven't released who's going to take the spot in the rotation. Hopefully we'll hear soon. If they look within, it's more than likely going to be Julius Chastain or Josh Tomlin. I sort of lean towards Josh Tomlin because that ERA number of Chastain really sticks out and makes me question that. But Josh Tomlin's been really good in long relief. I thought that he would get the edge over Kyle Wright to get the 5th starter spot. So I lean that way if they look within. But I think they may be looking outside as of right now. The Braves have a lot of trade material. They have a lot of extra guys. I think they might go out and get a starting pitcher. Will they get it? I don't know, but I think they're definitely going to shop around. That is the need right now. I told you a few weeks ago I thought the need was left-handed pitching. Now it's starting pitching. Over the bullpen help, it is starting pitching. You have a Cy Young candidate in Mike Soroka. You have an up-and-coming Cy Young candidate in Max Fried. And you have Newcomb and Kyle Wright, who, with all due respect, are just not proven yet. I hope that changes soon. I hope both of those guys show me what they're made of, but they're just not proven yet. We're depending on something that's just not proven. I think they need to go get somebody. Will that happen? I don't know, but I think they are shopping around. And the reason being, I'd love for Cole Hamels to come back and make an impact, but if we wait 45 games or 45 days for Cole Hamels to come back for the postseason, and then he hasn't pitched in over a year, really, in a live game in over a year, and now he has to do the postseason, right? We just don't know what we're going to get out of it. We may get greatness, we may get failure. There's just a lot of questions there. But that's the way I feel about that. Starting pitching is not something that you can get away with being mediocre in any capacity, much less in a 60-game season. But for the time being, the starting rotation is Soroka, Fried, Newcomb, Kyle Wright. Luckily, the Braves have a really great bullpen. That's where they're going to pull Josh Tomlin and Julius Chassin from if they look within. But don't be surprised if they make a move for a starting pitcher. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't either, just because no one's going to give up starting pitching right now. It's a 60-game season. Anybody can win this year. Why would anybody give up starting pitching, right? But I think that the Braves are definitely going to shop around. We just have a lot of question marks surrounding their rotation. But hopefully that can be remedied for the future. Hopefully it can be remedied for this season. The Braves take on Tampa Bay Rays again tonight. Kyle Wright takes the mound versus the Rays, and he will be going up against Yanni Chirinos. Hopefully the Braves can get Kyle his first win tonight. That will be at 6:40 p.m. on Fox Sports Southeast. Make sure you watch it tonight. And that's all I got today for this video. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell for notifications so that you can be notified when that video drops for tonight's game. But also you can follow me on social media, Tyler Redmond at BubblegumJesus on Twitter and Instagram. I'm always posting updates about this channel there, and I'm always talking baseball with you. So as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time on deck.